If you haven't realized it yet, HTC has dropped the One moniker off its latest flagship. They chose instead to shorten and simplify its name to the HTC 10. It's a smartphone that not only looks dramatically different from its predecessor, but it's also spec'd to ensure that it's justified to be superior in every facet. By looking at the two, it's almost tough to discern any similarities, but trust me, there are a lot, like a huge lot. Hey guys, John Velasco here with Android Authority, and I'm doing a quick look between the HTC One M9 and the HTC 10. Metal has always been the core material that HTC has forged its flagships out of, so it's no surprise that there's a lot of metal here. Don't get us wrong, they're premium, but we certainly find the HTC 10's design more riveting. Sure, it's a smidgen taller, wider, and heavier than the M9, but the redesign and the attention to detail makes the M9's design appear elementary. What's most apparent are the beveled edge around the back, the capacitor buttons, the change to the earpiece grill, and a single button that makes up the volume control. I wasn't a fan of the sharper edges of the M9. Now, just by looking at the snapshots I've taken of the two handsets side by side to one another, I can't help but to fall in love with how the HTC 10 has an unmistakable silhouette. With the size increase, the HTC 10 packs along a slightly larger 5.2-inch Quad HD Super LCD 5 display, whereas the M9 has a smaller 5-inch 1080p Super LCD 3.1. There's just no comparison here, folks, mainly because the HTC 10's panel is more detailed when you look at it very closely. Now, don't get me wrong, the M9's 1080p resolution is plenty detailed, but the HTC 10's jump to Quad HD resolution has been a long time coming. The HTC 10 is also packing the newer hardware, a quad-core Snapdragon 820 chipset coupled with 3GB of RAM and the Adreno 530 GPU. In contrast, the M9 features last year's top-of-the-line chip, the Snapdragon 810. It's still plenty powerful, but the upgrade comes in handy when you're dealing with the HTC 10's Quad HD resolution. Turning our attention to the cameras, the M9 didn't live up to the expectations with its 20-megapixel sensor, falling flat particularly under low light settings. Well, the HTC 10 brings back the ultra-pixel camera, as it's slapped with a 12-megapixel sensor on the back with 1.55 micron pixels, an f1.8 aperture lens, laser autofocus, BSI, and a dual-tone LED flash. We'll see if low-light performance is improved though. HTC Sense UI has always been a favorable custom experience in the Android community, delivering a good balance to meet the demands of users. This year's Sense UI is an evolutionary one that's running on top of Android 6.0 Marshmallow. Even though the general layouts and visuals are the same, HTC has somewhat streamlined the experience. And that's a really good thing, mainly because many of HTC's own apps conflicted with those from Google's staple last year. Therefore, there's no more wondering what music or email app to use. History has shown us that HTC is still in that stage of rebuilding. After last year's effort, it seemed as though that a rebound was impossible. Thankfully though, that doesn't appear to be the case because the HTC 10 seems like a polished product and far more ambitious than the M9. Let's just hope that all this hard work pays off.